Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to another video. Today, we got SCP-7122, which is one of the SCPs that are going to be introduced, I guess, used in the short film The Doctor by the same people that made The Corpse. Anyway, I do not know what this is. It's 7122, called The Camera. It's safe, and it's apparently a reanimation SCP. So the two guesses I have are either A, they're going to be alive in the picture that's taken, or B, instead of a picture, the camera produces a perfect copy of whatever it takes a picture of. Or C, something that I haven't thought about and it's going to surprise me when I watch this video. By the way, this video is by TheVolgun, as per the usual, and I do have a link to his channel in the description. Of course, as always, and if you're new to SCPs, you don't know what they are, which I don't know how you would find this video if you didn't, I do also have a link in the description to a video called SCPs Explained, also by TheVolgun. So yeah, there's, two videos in this channel in the description by TheVolgun, so I think you should sub to him. Alright, let's check it out. 7122, the camera. I think this is the first, no, yes? Is this the first safe class SCP that I've taken a look at? By the by, there's going to be a lot of SCP content this week, because there's a lot to watch.
Everyone.
Good afternoon, Dr. Miller.
And the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-7122. Object class, safe.
No surprise.
Special containment procedures.
Is it just placed somewhere?
SCP-7122 is to be stored in a secure safe inside a standard containment room.
Thought they would just put it in a closet somewhere.
Two armed guards posted outside of it, and is only able to be accessible by level 3 staff or higher.
Interesting.
Any access to SCP-7122's containment room is to be reported to the site director immediately, who can initiate a lockdown if deemed necessary. It is thus recommended that the director be informed before accessing SCP-7122's containment room, as SCP-7122 is an inanimate object that needs to be handled for anomalous effects to occur.
I mean, it is a camera.
No threat of it breaching containment by itself. However,
which is good.
The Department of Intelligence has assessed that there is a possibility that the item may be an object of interest for hostile groups of interest. In case of a containment breach, the entire wing of Site-717 containing SCP-7122 is to initiate a lockdown, with all light as well as internet and intranet access being cut off immediately in order to prohibit utilization of SCP-7122's anomalous effects.
Okay, now I'm really interested. Apparently, shutting down the internet and intranet, it can shut down 7122 as well as no lights. Huh. Okay, now you got me interested.
Station staff within the compromised area are to be advised not to use any source of light for the entire duration of the lockdown.
Okay.
The only personnel allowed to access the locked down section of Site-717 in case of a containment breach is the on-site tactical response team. Upon recontainment, all electronic devices capable of storing digital data and media, as well as SCP-7122, are to be investigated for any instances of .NAO files. Only after all results have turned out negative, personnel are to be released from lockdown, and both internet and intranet access is to be turned back on.
That's interesting. Okay, so it has something to do with it creates files. He said .NAO, but that's just .ANO. Typo, I'm guessing. Interesting. Okay. My two guesses were completely wrong then, so it was C. Huh. Also, what is the intranet? I had to look that up myself.
Description. SCP-7122 is a Nikon brand D3500 DSLR camera.
Question, you guys say Nikon or Nikon? Is that a Japanese brand? Because if it is, it might be Nikon. I don't know.
Serial number with a standard 18 to 55mm kit lens. SCP-7122's anomalous effects manifest when it is used to photograph a person. Upon taking a person or a living being, file in the format .ANO is created. Said files can be viewed without any special software
Okay, now he said .an. Is it just... Am I crazy, or did he say .nao the first time? Hold up. Where are we at? 2 minutes 44. Let's go back for a second. Search for... Oops. Search for any...
Negative. Personnel are to be released from are to be investigated for any instances of .nao files. Only
He said .nao files the first time.
software on all common media devices.
Really?
Going to the metadata will seemingly reveal nothing out of the ordinary. However, instead of displaying information about the file, such as file name
It's going to be information
or the
about
time,
the person?
date, and location of its creation, such information will instead be displayed about the subject depicted in the photograph.
Okay.
Additionally, a field can be found at the bottom of the window saying Further Properties.
Oh, what is that?
Investigation of these
What will that
properties
do?
will open up a separate window with a sporadically expanding, seemingly nonsensical, and random array of numbers and letters.
So it's sporadically expanding. That's interesting.
It is theorized that the extent of these properties directly correlates to the subject's age and experiences. Although most of the .ano files ranges from 175 kilobytes to 3.5 megabytes, the average amount of data found
Pretty
within
small.
the Further Properties section is estimated to be around 1 petabyte. All Foundation efforts to decode said data have so far proven unsuccessful.
Maybe it's in DNA information? Like the entirety of the person's DNA makeup? I don't know. Maybe. Fuck. What do I know?
Further anomalous effects have become apparent when the files are altered or deleted. When a .ano file
If you delete it, do you kill the person? Please tell me you do.
is inserted into video editing software and a spoken audio track is combined with said file, the subject in the photograph will initiate motion matching the spoken tracks, while the
Really?
recorded voice will instantly change as well to match the voice of the depicted subject.
Well, that's
However,
interesting.
tests have shown that the person in the photo is the only one affected by this, meaning that the rest of the picture will not initiate any sort of movement. Deletion of a .nao file will result in the immediate termination of the subject in the picture.
Oh,
Test
well, I mean, I got something right. That's interesting, though. If you put it in a editing thing and have an audio file, the person will essentially speak. Oh God. Could you imagine? Like making... God, this is deeper than deep fakes of people, though. Holy shit. It's like you take a picture of an actual person, like a celebrity or something, and have him say the most wild shit you could think of. We're actually getting pretty close to that right now, actually, aren't we? With the whole AI bullshit.
have shown that this effect only applies to the pictured person, even in crowd scenarios.
Really?
If no specific subject exists in such a picture, no anomalous effects will manifest.
Oh, that's
The
good.
Foundation has not yet been able to determine the medical cause of death of the test subjects.
Hold up, are they going to be able to revive him? Because it says reanimation SCP up at the top corner here in the title.
SCP-7122's effects also apply to
If you undo the delete, does it bring him back to life?
various animals, see test logs,
Ooh.
and can be avoided by creating a copy of the original NAO file in advance.
Okay.
Deleting the metadata of a .NAO file will not result in the subject's death.
Wait, did he... Oh shit, I accidentally hit zero. God damn it, the zero had to be so close.
The SCP Foundation dispatched 2 local field agents the medical cause of death of the test subjects,
Hold up.
test logs, and can be
I'm pretty sure he said .nao again.
avoided by creating a copy of the original NAO file in advance. Deleting
you
the
did.
metadata of a .NAO file will not result in the subject.
Which one is it? Is it NAO or ANO? Now it's confusing me. Now you're confusing me, Volgun. Or Dr. J. Miller. I think he's confused too.
Subject's death. However, the subject will become unresponsive and cease almost all motor functions in a catatonic state. Tests have shown that subjects affected by this are not incapable of actions like walking, but rather simply do not do so for most of the time.
So is the constantly changing meta, the more properties section, is that just like a peak? Or not a peak, I guess it's not a peak, but full data information of what's going on in the mind. That's why it's constantly changing, because people are constantly thinking about things that do or do not matter, or just daydreaming, but they are constantly, their brain is constantly moving. So maybe that's what that more properties metadata is, because if you delete it, they go into a catatonic state. Essentially, it's not brain death, but essentially it's they're ceasing all just all thinking, probably. The only thing that's still working is whatever's keeping their their bodily functions still going, their heart, their liver, their pancreas, their kidneys, etc., etc. Thankfully, breathing is a part of that, or else they're certainly gonna die.
Discovery. SCP-7122 came to the
that?
Foundation's
There's a
attention
bit of lag
after
just
a
then.
sudden rise of unexplained deaths and reported cases of anonymous blackmail in Gustavsburg, Sweden, and the
Sweden?
surrounding area. The SCP Foundation dispatched 2 local field agents to investigate the situation. In cooperation with Swedish law enforcement agencies, Agent Roland Jansen and Agent Carl Berg subsequently managed to deduce that the cases were linked to Jens Eklund, a local amateur photographer and videographer and drug addict.
Oh, there you go.
Agents Jansen and Berg were ordered to investigate the property under the guise of an electrical inspection following a short unrelated blackout in Gustavsburg.
Oh, well, that's
After
lucky.
they were able to determine that the camera was the object of interest, it was given the official designation of SCP-7122, and a tactical response team was dispatched to recover the item under the pretext of a drug raid.
Question: how do they manage to come to that determination that it was the camera? I wish that things like that would be explained, because how would you know? Because it looks just like a regular camera, right? How would you know? Do they have some kind of detector, like a dragon radar from Dragon Ball, except for SCPs? No, that would make things too easy. Whatever.
Jens Eklund was fatally wounded during said raid after using SCP-7122 to kill 2 TAC rep operators.
Damn. How? I mean, I know how, you just delete the files, but how is it that he was able to take the pictures so quickly and then delete the files so quickly? Wait, what year was this? Was it on his phone? Because it said it could be viewed on any digital media. So it could have been on his phone, I guess, if he had like it open to the folder wherever it loads the file, the NAO or ANO. I don't even know which one it is anymore. I'm gonna go with ANO because that's what it's been saying in the text, but not him. He's been saying NAO. I feel like maybe my hearing's fucking off, but it could be. But that he would have had to be quick though to kill 2 people with it, like ching ching, and then maybe he just took a picture of everybody. Like, depends on the camera, but they do have like a multi what's the word for that? The multi-picture taking, where they like where it just takes like 15 different pictures in like 5 seconds or some shit, where it just shutters every second. I mean, if he did that, he could probably get a lot of people. And it's just up to him and his speed of how fast he can delete the files to kill them all. That is interesting, though. Poor sucker. I guess that's how they determined that it was the camera, though. No, it's not, because that's after that was already determined, and they came in to raid the place to get the camera. So I'm still curious on how they got the determination that it was the camera.
Logs. Test 7122-01.
They're just gonna straight up kill this guy, aren't they?
D9669. Description and results. Subject was photographed using
short, yeah. It's short as
SCP-7122.
fuck.
Photograph was deleted. D9669 died on the spot. Test 7122-02.
Okay.
Subject D9671. Description and results. Subject was photographed in absolute darkness using SCP-7122.
And that one didn't work, right?
Photograph was deleted. No change noted on subject.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, they did say they got to turn off all the lights if it gets, you know, taken from the lock for the lockdown. All the lights get turned off, all the internet and intranet. Intranet. What is the intranet? Nah, that's gonna bother me.
Test
Until I can look it up.
712203. Subject D9671.
I don't know what's up with the little bit of lag that's
Descriptions
happening
and
there.
results. Subject was photographed in absolute darkness using SCP-7122 while being lit by an infrared flashlight. Photograph was deleted. D9671 died on the spot.
Oh, even infrared.
Test 7122.
Oh, that sucks for him.
Subject D9672. Description and results. Subject was photographed using SCP-7122. External copy of .ano file was created. Original file deleted. No change noted on subject. Test 712205.
Oh, guys, the group photo.
D9672, D7673, D9874, and D9238. Description and results. Subjects were told to move around the room and make casual conversation. The entire group was photographed in a wide angle using SCP-7122. No subject was photographed individually. The photograph was then deleted. No change noted on either subject.
It says either like there was only 2, but there's 4. But that's interesting though. If there's no like, God, I don't have words right now. If there is not like a main subject, it does not kill. Interesting. You would think it would like just kill them all. So why is it? I'm still curious why it's called the reanimation SCP. So far, there's only been death and no reanimation.
D206. Subject D9672. Description and results. Copy of D9672's ANO file was inserted into video editing software. The file began to visually mimic spoken audio track. No change noted on subject.
This doesn't make him talk too.
07. Subject D9672.
Oh God, his files get messed with so much.
Copy of D9672's ANO file was inserted into video editing software. File began to visually mimic spoken parts of inserted music tracks. No change noted on subject. Note: SCP-7122's ANO files mimic spoken audio tracks to an absolute perfect extent.
Really?
Were it not for the unmoving background, it would be impossible to distinguish between an edited ANO file and an authentic video file. This anomalous effect could be of great use to the SCP Foundation.
Oh God.
Test 7122-08.
Okay.
Subject D9672. Description and results. Edited metadata of D9672's ANO file to display a different day of creation. Error message displaying the words "Administrator permission required."
What the fuck is that picture?
Appeared. Metadata reverted back to its original state after closing the error message. Foundation IT experts have not yet been able to bypass this effect. Test 71.
But now, in this case, would administrator permission be the subject of the photograph? I mean, you'd be like, how would it know? It's a fucking SCP. It might know. I mean, you got a coffee machine that knows what your favorite drink was that you ever had. So, I feel like that's not too far-fetched.
2209. Subject D9672.
9672 is gonna fucking die at some point.
Description and results. Deleted metadata of D9672's ANO file. D9672 instantly ceased nearly all motor functions and became unresponsive.
And this is he got something worse than death, poor fucker.
FMR.
Well, I mean, he is a D class, so they are gonna terminate him at the end, so he's not gonna suffer for too long.
MRI and EEG scans showed next to no brain activity aside from vital areas. Subject was described by researchers to be in a catatonic state.
So maybe I am right. Maybe that beginning with the, the ever-changing metadata in the moral property section is brain activity. And because they deleted the metadata, they deleted his brain activity. Fucking terrible.
Test 7122-10. Subjects D9672.
The man is in a catatonic state already. What else do you want from him?
Description and results.
Oh, God.
Subject brought to stand on 2 legs.
Okay, so I guess the picture is 9672. Honestly, if you squint your eyes, it kind of looks like he should be in an Eminem music video. And it looks like him.
Subject stood on 2 legs on its own. Subject was then pushed lightly. Subject was able to recover from push, likely via a form of muscle memory.
Maybe.
Subject was pushed hard and subsequently fell face first to the floor, fracturing its nose and jaw. D9672 did not react to the likely resulting physical pain.
There probably wasn't any physical pain, because I think only critical functions of the brain are still on. And, I don't know. I don't think feeling pain is going to fit in there. I think critical, when I say critical, functions, I mean just like keeping your heart going, making sure you're breathing, and, all the bodily functions. Pain reception, probably not up there for that.
Test 7122, 11.
I mean, I know it's important,
Subject,
but
D9672.
probably not
Description
the
and
same
results.
as heart.
Subject connected to EEG and fMRI scanners respectively, and subjected to a large dose of pain by having both femurs fractured independently through. Both
that's
EEG
great.
and fMRI scans showed next to no activity in the frontal lobe, the insular and cerebral cortex, all of which are largely important to human consciousness and emotional response to external stimuli.
So I was right. Yep. Poor fucker.
Upon the introduction of pain, N1 waves could be measured in the subject's brain, while there was almost a complete lack of N2 and P2 waves. As soon as the pain was inflicted, both the brain and the autonomous nervous system reacted on a physical level by releasing adrenaline and other hormones. Despite this, the scans of D9672's brain indicated that while it responded somewhat normally on a physical level, the emotional and conscious component of its perception of pain seemed to be non-existent.
Oh, that's interesting.
Note: in order to retain a professional climate, personnel are discouraged from referring to SCP-7122 as Soul Killer. As fitting as that description may be, personnel are also reminded that the Foundation does currently not know whether such a thing as a soul even exists.
Until the SCP that can suck it out of your mouth appears. But yeah, I mean, you should let them. They need to have a bit of fun around all this, death and destruction that's caused by all these SCPs. And the testing.
Test 7122, 12. Subject: 1 male chimpanzee.
Oh, they brought in a monkey this time. Oh, hello.
Description and results. Chimpanzee was photographed using SCP-7122. Photograph was deleted. Subject died on the spot. Test 7122, 13.
Okay, I want to know what happens if they Control-Z that shit and undo it. Does it come back to life? Somebody test that.
Subject: 1 female dog.
Oh,
Golden
not the
retriever.
pup.
Description and
Bro,
results.
and a golden
Dog
retriever
was
too?
photographed using SCP-7122.
Don't kill it.
Photograph was deleted.
Oh, you bitch.
Subject died on the spot.
What an ass.
Test 7122, 14. Subject: 1 female house cat.
You might be saying, what about the chimpanzee? Those things are fucking psychopathic, okay? Look, I'll leave them alone. They can stay in nature where they want, but fuck, if they get too close, I do not care. It is going down. It probably needs slug rounds from a shotgun that I don't have, but I will try my damnedest to put it down. Fuck no, chimpanzees. Keep those things away from me.
Felis catus.
Oh great, it's a cat
Description
now.
and results.
And
Cat was
they're
photographed
just gonna
using
kill it, aren't they?
SCP-7122. Photograph was deleted. Subject died on the spot.
That's what I thought.
Test 7122, 15. Subject: 1 male African bullfrog.
Oh, frog.
Pixocephalus adspersus.
Okay.
Description and results. Frog was photographed using SCP-7122.
They killed it?
Photograph was deleted.
They
No
killed it.
change on subject.
Oh.
Test 7122.
That's interesting. No change in So the frog survived the deletion. Does it only work on mammals? We're about to find out.
16. Subject.
It's a fire
One
ant
female
next.
fire ant, Solenopsis.
Okay.
Description and results. Fire ant was
Why is
photographed
it still on the
using
chimpanzee?
SCP-7122. Photograph was deleted. No change noted on subject.
It's either it only works on mammals, or there's a cutoff to the function, the level of brain function. Or I guess, no, I think that might be the right word. There's got to be a cutoff to like the level of sentience, level of intelligence, level of brain function, whatever you want to call it. There's either a cutoff somewhere, or it's just mammals.
Note: the anomalous effects of SCP-7122 mostly seem to be limited to living beings with a certain amount of intelligence and consciousness. However, the effects of deleting metadata vary largely among non-humanoid species.
What does that mean?
Test 7122.
What does that mean?
17. Approved by Site Director.
Ooh.
Subjects D7673
Oh god.
and D9874. Description and results. Both subjects were asked to fill out a questionnaire about themselves, their personality, as well as
The
very
poor golden
specific
retriever.
moments and memories of their life
Just had
only
to kill
they
it.
knew about. D7673 and D9874 were then photographed individually using SCP-7122.
Okay.
D7673's metadata was copied and deleted afterwards, with the same being done to D9874.
Okay, the metadata
Both
was
entered
deleted this time.
characteristic catatonic state as all previous subjects. The subjects then had their metadata swapped and quickly reverted back to a rather normal state. D7673 and D.
Oh my god, did they switch bodies doing that? Did they switch their bodies? Is that what happened? Are they gonna know they switched bodies, though? I mean, if it's exactly the same, if their memories carried over and all that, then I'm sure they would realize that they look different. There's probably no mirrors or something in there, but
974
okay.
were subsequently asked to answer questions about information they had previously disclosed in the questionnaire. Evaluation of their answers showed that both now only knew about what the biologically other should be knowing, and claimed to be that same person.
Oh
Both
my god.
subjects went on to express extreme confusion and severe distress, stating they were in the wrong body. When asked
Okay,
about what
they
happened after the
realized
deletion
it.
of their metadata, D7673 as well as D9874 became extremely agitated and would enter a state of panic while profusely refusing to elaborate any further about the topic,
Huh.
with D9874 even becoming violent.
So they remember something from when their metadata was deleted. Did they get a glimpse of the afterlife? Either heaven, hell, or purgatory? Wait, is purgatory hell? Is that the same thing? No. What's the word? Limbo. I don't know.
Both subjects had to be sedated and were returned to their cells for the night. D7673 and D9874 went on to commit by that same night.
Well,
Test 7122, 18. Approved by Site Director. Subjects D9672.
is it 9672 the guy that's in a catatonic state right now? Oh god, they're gonna give him 7673's metadata, aren't they?
And D7673. Description and results.
Okay.
D9672, who was still in a catatonic state
Obviously.
and recovering from the physical effects of Test 7122-11,
When they fucking pushed
had
him
his
over.
lost metadata replaced with that of the late D7673.
Oh, he's dead.
D9672
Oh, is that the dude that from the last test? Oh god, I don't remember these numbers. I only remember 9672 because he showed up so many times. His metadata and all that got put through like 5 different tests. That's the only reason I remember it.
from now on referred to as D7673, awoke soon after in great distress, showing signs of severe psychological trauma. D7673 behaved erratic and started screaming approximately half a minute after waking up. Subject stopped screaming after 5 minutes and died 10 minutes later from cardiac arrest, multiple organ failure, and severely damaged cerebral tissue, all suspected to have been caused, at least in some part, by extreme psychosomatic effects of the psychological trauma and/or the numerous transfers of metadata.
God damn.
Addendum 7122.
That's some fucked up shit.
As per order of Site Director Siegler, researchers are to refrain from performing experiments similar to Test 712211 unless necessary and approved by Director Siegler himself.
Well, at least I also got my answer to why it's called the reanimation SCP. You gotta save the metadata though. Like, holy shit. God, what was that movie? Where the dude... Oh my god. Was it Get Out? It was the dude where the black guy was dating the white chick and she takes him home to her family, which are apparently a bunch of rich, crazy motherfuckers in a little crazy society where they switched bodies with that of a younger person. And right, I guess in the movie, like, the bodies of young black men were the in bodies to be swapping out to. And god damn, this is like that, except it's far worse because you don't need their consent. You just need a picture, and they don't even have to know you took their picture. Fuck.
Or at least 2 Level 4 personnel. This rule will stay in effect until SCP-7122's anomalous effects are understood to a fuller extent. Addendum 7122-02. The Department of Intelligence has requested utilization of SCP-7122 by field agents in order to assure cooperation of influential non-Foundation individuals and to be able to terminate them or hostile person of interest if necessary. The department has also requested permission to set up several databases with ANO files of said individuals.
Jesus.
Proposal is pending.
Oh god. They're going full death note on this.
The following document is classified at security clearance level 4. Any unauthorized access is strictly forbidden and will result in disciplinary action.
Doc, are we good on this?
Project Balder.
Oh, I guess
Access
we are.
to Project Balder is restricted to level 4 7122. By order of the O5 Council and the Department of Intelligence, personnel with lower clearance levels are prohibited from viewing this file.
What's my clearance level?
Following
What's your
the
clearance
discovery
level?
of SCP-7122 and its anomalous effects, the Department of Intelligence has proposed utilization of the camera for the purpose of applied influence and liquidation of persons of interest. This proposal has since been granted by the O5 Council, and the Department of Intelligence has been provided with personnel and funding for further experiments.
Well, shit.
After the results of tests 7122-17 and SCP-7122-18 have suggested that SCP-7122 may be used to transfer a person's consciousness to a different person's body, including post-mortem.
Although they might freak the fuck out and die in 10 minutes if you do that one.
The O5 Council ordered enhanced testing of this effect for possible containment and security appliances. SCP-7122 has so far been used to capture 7 and terminate hostile persons of interest, while also having been used to influence important non-Foundation individuals.
Oh shit.
D-class testing.
I don't know if that's good or not.
7122-17 and 7122-18 have shown severe side effects with the transfer of metadata. The following tests seek to find a way of negating these effects.
How many D classes are they going to use for this?
7122-01. Subjects D5389 and D8376.
Oh boy.
Test description. Subjects were told to memorize 1 poem each beforehand as a way to determine if a transfer of consciousness via metadata had occurred. If successful, subjects were to be dosed with medical ketamine or similar euphoric drugs to reduce the level of trauma seen in Test 7122-17. Results. When asked, D-Class personnel recited each other's poem after their metadata had been swapped, thus proving that a transfer of consciousness had been successful. Subjects expressed discomfort about the situation, but not to such an extent as seen in D7673 and D9874. Still, the subjects became highly agitated and refused to elaborate when asked about what happened during the exchange of metadata. Conclusion: psychedelic drugs.
I'm thinking about what it could have been when they were in the catatonic state, what they remember, what they saw. Because I did say maybe it was a glimpse of the afterlife. Maybe, I mean, these are all D-class personnel. They are prisoners. Aren't they all prisoners that are like on death row, set to be executed? Isn't that what D-class personnel are? I think that's what's it, right? They were committers of very high-profile crimes. High profile is probably the wrong word. Probably. I can't say that word. The wrong word, like murder, rape. I don't know. Those are the two worst that I could think of. Battery of multiple individuals, like things such as that. So they probably would all be going to hell if it exists. So if what happens during the metadata, when they don't have their metadata, is they see, where they're going after they die, then they probably, there's that word again, wouldn't be too happy about talking about it after they come back, right? I don't know. Probably not, but it's an interesting thought, right?
That induce euphoric states are feasible to reduce the apparent traumatic effects of a transfer of consciousness. However, they do not manage to completely negate said problems, and the long-term effects of regular drug administration point to this not being a permanent solution.
Yeah, still no.
As no test subjects had occurred, the test was deemed a success.
I mean...
Test DOI,
I guess.
7122-02. Subjects, D4381 and D1768.
Are they going to kill one of them?
Test description. Same as test DOI 7122-01. However, subjects were placed under general anesthesia for the transfer of consciousness and dosed with heavy opiates afterwards. Results.
Okay.
D-class personnel confirmed a successful transfer had occurred by reciting the correct poem, just as the participants of test DOI 7122-01, D4381, and D1768 were uncomfortable with the situation. Unlike test DOI 7122-01, subjects stated they were unable to recall anything about the process of the exchange of metadata.
That's
Still, Foundation psychologists determined that the effects of a subconscious trauma were present, though not overly obvious.
They could pop up at any
Conclusion.
time.
Traumatic effects may be reduced further by artificially inducing a coma within subjects. The psychological trauma, however, is still a considerate factor that is to be eradicated if possible.
I mean, you're literally transferring their mind data, so yeah, a bit of psychological trauma. I feel like that's not going to be able to be eradicated at all. Also, what am I looking at? What is this picture? It looks like an X-ray of somebody's body. But could it also be just the brain? I don't know.
Test DOI 7122-03. Subjects: Dr. Dominic Martin.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
D6578. Forward. Dr. Dominic Martin is a senior researcher of the Foundation.
Did he volunteer for us?
Assigned to Project Balder with terminal lung cancer.
Oh.
Dr. Martin has volunteered as a test subject as a way to test possibilities of extending human life by transferring consciousness to another healthy body. Dr. Martin has declared he will not be placed under anesthesia and initially refused the administration of drugs in order to properly record and document what happens during the exchange of metadata. D6578 is a former Foundation employee of the administrative sector found guilty of espionage for a hostile group of interest.
So he was a spy? For who? The cult? What was the other one? It was like a global something. That's interesting. So I guess the doctor volunteered because he has terminal lung cancer. Hopefully he doesn't flip shit and, just go crazy.
Test description. As the effects and risks of having one subject with and one without anesthesia are unknown, the transfer occurred without either subject being sedated. As per usual, Both subjects memorized a different poem beforehand as a way of verifying a successful transfer of consciousness. Dr. Martin was then to report on what he could recall according to his own abilities.
Did Dr. Martin flip
Results.
his shit?
D6578, who had purposely not been informed about the test's specific nature beforehand, awoke screaming in the body of Dr. Martin.
Oh, that's not a
While
surprise.
Dr. Martin, while visibly distressed, remained comparatively calm.
I mean, he knew what was going to happen.
D6578 was restrained, and after reciting the correct poem to confirm the transfer of consciousness, sedated. Dr. Martin requested the administration of anxiolytic medication. This request was granted. Additionally, Dr. Martin was also given a mild sedative for the following 2 days. On the 3rd day following the test, Dr. Martin resumed documentation on his journal, which he had started beforehand in order to document the events of the transfer of metadata from his own perspective.
Are we actually going
The
to learn?
contents of his journal can be found below. D6578 passed away from lung cancer 3 weeks after the completion of the test, but was transferred into a new living body for interrogation.
Oh, that's interesting.
After a lack of cooperation and the failure of conventional and advanced interrogation methods, D6578 was terminated via fatal shot to the head and transferred into another body 3 hours later, causing
Holy shit, this man was transferred 3 times. One time after he was shot in the fucking head. How did he not lose his shit?
D6578 to give in
I was
and
about to
provide the
say.
Foundation with the requested information in exchange for the permanent deletion of his entire file.
Essentially, I'll tell you everything you want to know. Just fucking kill me. After. Okay. Must have been quite a bit of hell.
Journal of Dr. Dominic Martin for Project Balder, Test DOI 7122-03. Date 2510.
Oh god. Nice picture.
Hello. My name is Dr. Dominic Martin. I am 56 years old, born in Hamburg. I have volunteered to be a test subject in an experiment.
We're about to find out what's
going to
happen during the data transfer.
Thinking about it, were this not the Foundation, I'd probably go to a psychiatric ward for simply saying this sentence. I should perhaps note that the primary goal of this journal is not to provide an overly scientific or clinical documentation, as it aims to document my own subjective experiences and observations during this test.
Hopefully it keeps it
It is
together
hoped
enough.
that said observations will provide the Foundation with new insights for both psychological and practical applications. All that is currently known is that it is possible to bring the consciousness, or soul, if you believe that, of a person into the body of another by using a specific anomaly the Foundation has acquired.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently this process seems to have been severely traumatizing.
And he still went with
Traumatizing
no
enough that
anesthetics.
Several D-class personnel have committed afterwards. And every single test subject so far was either unable or outright refused to talk about what happened for the short time that their soul was deleted from our reality. So, why on earth would I volunteer for such an experiment?
Because he got terminal lung
The answer
cancer.
is quite simple. I've been a chain smoker since I was a young man.
Hopefully that
Well,
ends after the body
surprise.
transfer.
All those warnings that smoking causes cancer are true. Who would have guessed? I have terminal lung cancer, and my time is about to come, according to doctors. So, since I've been assigned to this project for quite some time, and my curiosity has always been morbid in nature, I figured I might as well just try to be a useful asset to this program.
I mean, I'd probably do
Let's
the same
just hope
thing.
my mind doesn't end up as some kind of cerebral pudding. The test will begin in 2 days.
I mean, if I got terminal lung cancer, I would
2710.
volunteer too. I'm gonna die anyway. Fuck it.
I've just been photographed by the anomaly. Now there's no turning back. I will be restrained for the transfer. Apparently the owner of my new body is a spy of some hostile group of interest who was embedded in the Foundation, and they wanted to prevent him from fleeing once he's inside my body. Not that
That would also be an interesting way to capture, like, most wanted criminals. Like, if you can just get a picture. You probably won't be able to catch him outright, but if you can get a picture, put a telescopic lens on this sucker or something, get a picture of him, and hopefully get a picture of a corpse or something, somebody that, isn't dead or isn't alive, and you're not going to be traumatizing, and just, strap that body down, take its picture, transfer the mind metadata into that body, and boom, you've got your criminal. And the criminal's body just collapsed dead onto the floor in some random area. That's gonna scare the shit out of a lot of people, but yeah, you got your man.
My broken body would be capable of running anyway. They see it as a kind of prison for him.
Convenient.
Convenient but cruel, in my honest opinion. I was told to memorize a poem, just like the test subjects before me, as a way of identifying me after the transfer. Standard procedure by now. The poem goes like this.
Oh.
Be not
She
afraid
wrote down the poem.
in the face of change. Be courageous, standing like a wall. Though at first things may seem strange, and nothing familiar at all. There's a purpose in the bland and grey.
That's
Though
pretty
it may
long.
still seem far, you can make it through the day, no matter where you are. I don't recognize this poem. It seems very random. I wonder
It does,
if one was
doesn't it?
selected for any specific purpose.
Maybe one of the researchers just really into writing their own poetry, and they're the ones that have been writing the poems that they need to memorize. You never know. Sometimes I feel like hobbies like that bleed into the research.
Anyways, it's time to begin the test.
Please let us know.
Date 3010.
Hello,
Oh,
my name is Dr. Dominic Martin, 56 years old, born in Hamburg. Well, not really. I'm
Not
actually
anymore.
35 years old, born in Dunkirk. My body, at least. The transfer of my consciousness has been successful. It's been quite the unpleasant experience. Hence why I have requested
Okay.
anxiolytics for the time being. The transfer itself, well, how do I describe it? At first, there was a mild sense of unease, followed by a headache. Then, time started to slow down as both symptoms gradually became worse. I felt an intense pressure on my eyes and inside my head, accompanied by a strange pulling sensation, as if something inside of my body was pressing against its outside, trying to force its way through.
that something on the inside of my body was pressing against its outside, trying to force its way through. So it feels like something was trying to get out? Is that? I don't know, the wording's confusing to me.
Then, a sudden rip. There was darkness. Well, not actually darkness. It was colorful and black and white and gray and colorless all at the same time. Trying to describe it is like trying to define the color of a mirror. I saw geometry that didn't make sense, like squares with 5 sides or triangles seemingly comprised of 90-degree angles. I was in a place without space or time. I couldn't breathe because neither was there air, nor did I have a body to breathe. I was consciousness and unconsciousness at the same time, existing, vegetating through a reality I could not comprehend. I was in limbo. Time did not seem to exist. I may have been there for a few seconds, or hundreds upon hundreds of years.
Damn.
I do not know. Both felt the same.
Oh.
After a time I cannot define, I entered what felt like an intense fever dream. An array of illogical and random thoughts, words, sentences, and impressions infinitely repeating.
How do you know if
I
it's
dreamt in
repeating,
a
if it's
circle,
infinite?
a circle that I could not break out of. I don't know if I could even perceive that circle or my situation as a whole. Then began the memories. I lived through them like it was my first time experiencing them, and yet they often felt familiar, like deja vu. I thought I was alive, but my memories were not in exact order. I'd often jump in between them in nonsensical ways. Not all memories were true either. Some contradicted each other. All this causing me to question myself and my sanity. I've met people I knew were dead, or did not belong in my perceived timeline. These contradictions, however, made it possible for me to realize that none of this was real. At least, I think it wasn't. Having realized that, I focused on the poem I had memorized before. I used it like a mantra to try to hold on to my reality. I'm sure I could have done without it. I mean, the other D-class managed it as well. But I think it helped me deal better with my situation. Maybe it made it all less traumatic, in a sense. From what I've heard, I am dealing with it much better than he does. Thinking about it, I'm wondering even more now if there was a specific reason for the selection of my poem.
Oh god. There's a lot to take in. It sounds like, I don't know. God, is that what it felt like being in Goja's fucking domain expansion? Holy shit. I don't know. So my theory was wrong. They did not get a peek into where they were going after they died. Holy shit, they got a peek into something else, apparently. Maybe all those memories were like alternate timeline versions of himself. Like the memory multiverse theory is true, and he just got the memories of him, all of him, from every universe, every timeline. That'll mess you up.
Entering the new body was an unsettling experience.
You know, it probably sounds like you went to like the fourth dimension, like in that movie. I don't remember the movie. You know, the one with the nice music, and they were on the planet where like an hour is like a couple years, 5 years or something on Earth or some shit like that. I don't remember. But yeah, didn't that guy go into like the fourth or fifth dimension or something like that?
I started to feel a spinning and pulling sensation. I felt sick. Then, like a curtain, this not reality I was in gave away to our reality. My eyes were open, but I could not yet see. Everything spun around, and it felt like the insides of my body were rearranging themselves. For what felt like days, but were merely seconds, I was in terrible pain.
Oh.
I could feel my brain. It felt like it was burning, melting. I think those symptoms may be very real, as they perfectly match those that killed D7673 in test 7122-18. I'd tasted purple.
I'm sorry, tasted
I heard
purple?
triangles and squares. The synesthesia took some time to go away. My
Okay.
theory is that those symptoms were my consciousness, or my soul, if you want, adapting to my new body, or vice versa. Probably similar to the transplantation of a new organ.
So there's a possibility of the body or the consciousness / soul rejecting the other. Is that when they just kind of end their own existence?
My theory is that unless the brain and body are in a specific state, they may reject the new consciousness in some way, which is probably what led to the known complications of a transfer. It's a wild guess, but maybe surgical precautions like deep brain stimulation and general anesthesia could help with that. I should maybe add that I could not initially remember everything about the transfer. It was like waking up in the morning, where you actually have to think about what you dreamt, because you can't really recall all of it at first. With me, since I knew what was going on, this was probably pretty easy when compared to other test subjects. I only
Probably.
seem to start remembering when something triggered their memories about it. So, amnestics may also be helpful to minimize both physical and psychological harm.
Maybe. So how's this dog
Following
doing?
test
Is
DOI
it still good?
712203, the recommendations of Dr. Martin have been tested and were found to be effective. Dr. Martin was subsequently administered mild amnestics at his own request.
I mean, he did write
Since
everything
the transfer
down,
could
so...
now be carried out safely, the Department of Intelligence was given permission by the O5 Council to initiate Operation Soulmate.
Oh boy.
Operation Soulmate.
That doesn't sound good.
Operation Soulmate is an intelligence and security operation carried out by the Foundation's Department of Intelligence. Operation Soulmate is aimed at gaining intelligence about enemy groups of interest, as well as the secure permanent imprisonment of key hostile agents.
So essentially, swap one of your agents' consciousness with the body of a hostile agent and have him be your little mole in the other organization, I'm assuming. As well as probably trying to get information out of the I guess now prisoner in the body of your agent through any means necessary, I'm guessing. That guy's not going to want to go back into his own body, though, after that.
In preparation for Operation Soulmate, field agents of the Foundation are tasked with recruiting subjects fitting the following criteria.
Oh.
Paralyzed, preferably from the neck down. Living in severe poverty.
Oh, jeez.
From a very rural area and or a third world country. Very few or no family members. Very few or no friends.
I'm not liking the direction this is going. I was thinking one of your agents is just going to be transferred into the body of another as you know, tied down the agent's body and held him in the prison. No, this is far worse. They're just disappearing people, probably, it looks like.
Preferably no terminal illnesses. Age between 12 and 55.
The low end is 12 for this? Jesus, man.
Ages outside of the specified range need to be approved beforehand.
Okay.
If a fitting subject is found, field agents are to introduce themselves as government officials or as medical staff of various humanitarian aid NGOs, including and offer the subject the participation in an experimental medical procedure to fully cure their disability. If subjects refused, they are to be administered amnestics and released.
Okay.
If subjects agreed, they are taken to Site 717, Jasmine Peninsula, Germany.
Okay, if they refuse, they're amnesticized, but they're released, so that's good. They're not just kidnapping people. Honestly, I assumed it was going to go in that direction. It's like, no, I'm good. Well, that's too fucking bad. Get in the fucking truck, putting a bag over their head and all that.
Germany, and prepared for a transfer of consciousness. Any acquaintances of the subject are to be informed a week later that the subject was killed in an accident involving the ambulance vehicle they were transported in and that the body could not be recovered. Preparations for transfer include implantation of a deep brain stimulation implant, memorization of an individual poem, memorization of a telephone number belonging to the Foundation, and limited mental preparation about the procedure itself. Subjects are not to be informed about the existence of the Foundation under any circumstances, to guarantee the integrity of the veil of secrecy. If not yet the case, field agents are then to use SCP-7122 to photograph the target person of interest. For the transfer, subjects are to be placed under general anesthesia inside an interrogation cell. Subjects are told beforehand that it is absolutely integral they find a telephone and call the specified number as soon as possible after waking up. Foundation agents are then to track and locate the phone call and provide instructions to link up with Foundation personnel or, if necessary, dispatch field agents to return them to a nearby site for further treatment.
After they're recovered, are they going to be transferred back to their old body? Because that's going to be kind of shitty. Like, you got your guy, transfer the mind back into him, and then what do you do with the... We're about to find out.
Once the subject is recovered, they are to be administered amnestics and given a cover-up story about their new life. Only once it was certain that the subject itself believes said story, they are to be released from Foundation custody.
Okay. Well, that sucks ass. I mean, you might as well have just kidnapped the dude. I mean, he wouldn't be as you know, participating as enthusiastically. I don't think that's the right word, but that's what I'm coming up with right now. But I mean, yeah, you might as well just be kidnapping the people. You're completely erasing their memories and giving a cover-up story about their new life. So they're not even going to be allowed to see, like, whatever friends or family they may or may not have had after this. I mean, if they didn't have anybody, I guess it's fine, but they had like at least one parent or something or one friend, well, fucking sucks for you.
Documentation about Operation Soulmate can be found below. The following is a list of persons of interest captured during Operation Soulmate, alongside additional basic information. Further
Oh,
information,
boy.
such as intelligence gained or subsequent operations of the DOI, have been excluded from this list due to secrecy and irrelevance to the file. Operation Soulmate 1. Subject: Yaroslav Gordov, 22, from Siberia, Russia. Both legs amputated due to diabetes.
Oh,
Lived with his father, a Russian army officer, recruited after a doctor's appointment.
well,
Person of interest:
Dad's never gonna
Louis
see him again.
Marcelo Rouzet, 47, from France. Known collaborator of Marshall Carter and Dark Limited.
Oh,
Notable incidents: none. Subject was recovered and amnesticized. Conclusion of operation: operational success. Operation Soulmate
wait,
2.
hold up. 3752. That's the time I need to go back to. But hold on, go back for a little bit to Operation Soulmate. The car storm with their new life. Okay, it doesn't say anything about them being transferred back to their original bodies, so I guess they get to keep the new bodies that they're in. Just moved. I mean, I guess good for them. If they were like had a disability, paralyzed from the neck down, like that first guy, both his legs amputated. I mean, if they're transferred into a new healthy body, I guess good for them. But I'm still kind of iffy. I feel like you might as well be kidnapping them.
None. Subject was recovered and amnesticized. Conclusion of operation: operational success. Operation Soulmate 2. Subject: Aditya Biswas, 19, from Bangladesh. Paralyzed from the neck down. No family. Lived in a
Oh.
disabled person's residence from UNICEF.
You see, this person, I guess, yeah. I guess it's okay with them,
Person of interest:
you know? Because they agreed to this whole operation thing, I guess giving them a new body. I wonder how would they react to that new body? It's gotta be so fucking weird for them.
Vladislav Bortsov, 31, from Russia.
Especially when you're going from 19 to 31. You just aged up 12 years. You're no longer paralyzed though. But now you're Russian. And you're
Recruiter for a Sarkic cult within Russia, now within Foundation custody.
you're also a cult recruiter body. So hopefully, you know. I'm still confused. Do they keep the new body or are they trying? It doesn't say anything about them being transferred back, so I'm assuming they keep the new body amnesticized, then released with a cover story with their new body. Hopefully somewhere far away from where they were. I don't know, but I feel like if they were involved with all these like other organizations that know about SCPs, they will be found and they will be, you know, hunted down. So I feel like they would be transferred back to their old bodies. I don't fucking know. It doesn't say. It didn't say.
Notable incidents: none. Subject was recovered and amnesticized. Conclusion of operation: operational success.
Okay, and that's 2 successes
Operation
so far.
Soulmate 3. Subject: Sanun Nugent, 49,
Is that
from
how you
Thailand.
Is that how you say that last name? I've seen so many people with that last name. I had Nugent. Is that really?
Entire family and friend group died in a large fire at a wedding.
Oh,
An attempt left him paralyzed from neck down. Recruited straight from hospital.
okay.
Person of interest: Maria Munoz Pereira,
I mean, he got 4 years younger, but he changed genders now?
45, from Argentina. Member of the Serpent's Hand, now within Foundation custody. Notable incidents: none. Subject was recovered and amnesticized. Conclusion of operation: operational success. Operation Soulmate 4. Subject 12 from Jinjiang,
Fucking
China,
12?
separated from her family at a young age,
Okay.
paralyzed from neck down as a result of physical violence, recruited from Uyghur internment camp,
Oh.
person of interest, mid-tier operative of the Chaos Insurgency, now within Foundation custody. Notable incidents. Subject behaved unusual enough to arise suspicion before being recovered. Subject was terminated by a field agent to assure secrecy. Conclusion of operation, limited operational success.
Subject behaved unusual enough to arise suspicion before being recovered. I mean, you transferred the mind of a 12-year-old child. Yeah, 12-year-old little girl, because it says her, into the body of a mid-tier operative of the Chaos Insurgency, who is probably at least a decade older than said young girl, and possibly of the opposite gender. I'm not sure because it doesn't have any pronouns in there, but he it was a 12-year-old child in the body of a possibly 30-plus-year-old maybe man, I don't know, probably. What would be a not unusual behavior for a child of 12 to realize they're in a completely different body? I don't like this one. It makes me feel bad.
Notable incidents.
Makes me feel yucky in the tummy.
Unusual enough to arise suspicion before being recovered. Subject was terminated by a field agent to assure secrecy.
I don't like this one.
Conclusion of operation, limited operational success. Operation
Maybe don't use
Soulmate
children.
5. Subject.
Oh great, this one's 14.
From Syria. Family died in IED explosion, which left her paralyzed from the waist down.
It's another
Recruited
14-year-old
from foster
girl.
home for disabled children. Person of interest. Ahmed Mohammed Al-Hassin, 52, from Iran. Higher ranking ORIA.
What was that, 38 years? Goddamn.
Officer now within Foundation custody. Notable
That's
incidents.
a 14-year-old
Subject
girl.
apparently was mentally unstable before the transfer and committed despite precautions.
Oh.
Conclusion of operation. Limited operational success. Operation Soulmate.
Are you sure they were mentally unstable? Maybe it's the fact that they just aged up 38 years into a 52-year-old man's body from being, what, 14, did it say? Yes. And it was a 14-year-old girl that had, lost her entire family in an IED explosion that just got transferred into the body of a 52-year-old. And you're expecting them not to, maybe just a little bit? Like, I can't say they were mentally unstable before, but I can't say they weren't at 14 seeing their entire family die in an explosion, but I feel like maybe the transfer might have pushed them over the edge on that one. I think that might be on you guys.
6. Subject. Abu Bakar Wachuku, 35, from Niger.
There,
paralyzed
35.
from waist down after a car crash that killed his family. Recruited from hospital. Person of interest. 43, from Canada.
Yeah, it's
Priest
not too
of the
different, I
Fifth
guess.
Church, now within Foundation custody. Notable incidents. Subject behaved unusual enough to arise suspicion. Subject was detained, interrogated, and killed by members of the Fifth Church before Foundation operatives could intervene.
Oh. I just realized what it means by behaved unusual and terminated for that 12-year-old girl. It wasn't the SCP Foundation that killed them. It was whatever. Oh. I know. It says subject was terminated by the field agent to ensure secrecy. That makes it sound like the SCP Foundation terminated the 12-year-old girl in the old man's body, so I'm still going with that.
The operation is considered a failure.
Go back a little bit
Subject
more.
was not aware about the existence of the Foundation. Canada, priest of the Fifth Church, now within
Now
Foundation
this guy was
custody.
killed by
Notable incidents. Subject behaved unusual
priest
enough to arouse suspicion.
Fifth
Subject
Church.
was detained, interrogated, and killed by members of the Fifth Church before Foundation operatives could intervene.
So they were killed by
Note,
the
as the subject
different
was not
area.
aware about the existence of the Foundation, the information gained by the Fifth Church is most likely very limited. Still, the operation is considered a failure. Conclusion of operation: operational failure.
Oh, sucks for him.
Operation Soulmate 7. Subject: redacted for the purpose of operational protection of Foundation operatives.
I'm sorry, what?
Person of interest.
Redacted for the purpose of operational protection of Foundation. What the hell? What? What? Oh, did he escape? I don't know.
High-ranking member of a Sarkic cult, now within Foundation custody.
I guess not.
Notable incidents. Subject recovered without incident. Subject refused amnestics after having learned about the Foundation and offered to remain an informant embedded within the cult. After the necessary precautions and security measures were taken, he was officially reinserted into the cult and has since proven to be a reliable source of intel. Conclusion of operation: great operational success.
I guess that's why it was redacted. He is still in there as a mole. Holy, okay. He must be a real. They must have been, he or she. They must have been a real big fan of like spy movies or some shit, and wanted to do that in real life. So they're living the dream right now, I guess. Hopefully they don't get caught. But yeah, I
By
mean,
order of the ethics.
I mean, you know, if he volunteered to do all that, he must be living the dream of himself for himself.
Committee. Operation Soulmate has been shut down due to its inhumane and unethical nature. Any similar operations are prohibited from being conducted until further notice. Verdict of the Ethics Committee regarding Operation Soulmate.
How long was the operation
After careful
going before this
consideration,
verdict?
The Ethics Committee has come to the conclusion that while Operation Soulmate has undoubtedly been a full success for the SCP Foundation when it comes to intelligence on hostile forces,
Especially on the
in
last
doing
one.
so, it has also committed serious violations of human dignity. Although the Foundation does
Maybe just don't use 12 and 14-year-olds. Seriously. I think if you know, went through with that, you wouldn't be having as much problems.
not currently know whether there is such a thing as a soul, it is safe to say that human consciousness is the closest thing to what one would call a soul. As such, entrapping a person's consciousness with a foreign paralyzed body defies every known concept of human dignity. Furthermore, Dr. Dominic Martin's journal, together with tests 712217, 18, DOI 7122 1-3, and Operation Soulmate 5 show that the deletion of metadata and transfer of consciousness are psychologically almost unbearable for the subject and lead to severe trauma, and in some cases, even if the end always justified the means, which in the opinion of the Ethics Committee is not the case here. The use
they
of
have to
such
make that
methods
clear.
for advanced interrogation would be highly questionable. The success of the Department of Intelligence does prove it right, which is why Project Boulder may persist. However, continuation of Operation Soulmate and all further operations of this kind are nevertheless prohibited on the basis just mentioned. We secure, we contain, we protect. From the Ethics Committee of the SCP Foundation.
I don't know, the last guy seemed to be really okay with it, actually.
Okay. I think that about does it for today. Thank you for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Dr. Miller. And of course, we're going to let him read off his Patreon after this. The article was written by Dr. Emil J. Svensson. Is that what that said?
I would like to give a special thank you to Big Sip, Zargaran, Oh Crap Guy, Kegnak, The Morrigan, Rowan O'Brien, Braided Peach, Dean Dingus,
Nice.
Dr. Wolf 13, Cubster, Worthy Fire, Zazapan, Irish Wristwatch, Signar, Your Local Foundation Agent, Lost Boy, and James Saba. If you would like a special thank you at the end of each of my videos, and some other cool stuff as well, visit patreon.com/TheVolgun. Thank you.
You're welcome. Alright, we're gonna pause that there. So that was interesting. When I said reanimation, I thought it was just gonna bring people back to life, but damn, it got a lot deeper than that. That's interesting. So reanimation, yeah, I guess it is reanimation. They can bring dead people back to life as long as they got the metadata. I was seriously just expecting, like, you know, maybe a picture makes a copy of the person, you know, bring them back to life from the dead. No, it got way deeper and far more, God, what is the word? Weirder? Traumatizing? Than I would have ever expected it to be. Yeah. And it was used for espionage. That last guy really got into it, though. The last subject really, I guess he got really into it. Like, he was like, bro, put me back in, coach. I want to go back in there. And apparently he's been doing well since proven to be a reliable source of intel. So I don't know how he's getting that intel out, but damn, I guess he's just doing good. Like I said, they must really have liked spy movies or some shit like that and really wanted to be a part of it. Good for them. At least they got what they wanted at the end. See, he wasn't really traumatized by the transfer. Can't say too much about the whoever was actually inside that body. You know, that original person, they're probably... it's 50-50 on whether they're still alive. Probably not. They got this guy on the inside, so they don't really need him anymore. But yeah, no. This is a very interesting SCP, also very dangerous in the wrong hands. Oh my god. Could you imagine fucking Death Note? Instead of a Death Note, it's this camera. Oh, Kira would be having a hell of a fun time. Because he doesn't really have to worry about anything, does he? I mean, obviously, if the SCP Foundation could find them, he'd have to worry about them. But if it's in his universe, he probably doesn't have anything to worry about. I don't even know how they tracked him down in the first place. But damn, it sure would make it easier for him. Just take a picture, delete the metadata. There's no real, like, just delete the file. There's no real, like, evidence left behind. Because he deleted the file. What are they going to find? Nothing. Not even this picture. But damn. This is definitely one of the more interesting SCPs. Hopefully they don't ever use it again. Well, no. Actually, apparently Project Balder's still going, so they're still using it. But hopefully it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. Would you say this is the best hands for that SCP to fall into? I don't know. Let me know. But yeah, no. It's a lot of fun. And with this, I can finally go watch the Doctor. I don't know who's going to use... Oh. Is the Doctor going to use this one? Who knows? We'll find out later. So until then, y'all, thanks for watching with me. And go ahead and give the Volgun's channel a look. It's great. He's got a lot. And until next time, y'all, thank you for watching with me, and goodbye.